Split allows you split an automation stage into multiple parts. In this example automation, we are going to trigger an automation based on an event, and we are going to split the next stage based on the value of that event. You can split into multiple parts based on the user's attributes or based on the trigger event's value or property. In this example, we'll create two parts based on the event value. The first part is when the value is more than 50, and the next is when the value is more than 200. An additional part is automatically added for other values that do not match the two parts we've specified. We can continue to build our automation and add more actions and add even more conditions. For example, we can send an email based on both parts. I am keeping the email simple in this example. If the event value is more than 50, the user gets the 5-point email. If the value is more than 200, the user gets the 20-point email. And once we're good with our automation, we can go ahead and publish it. Now that our automation is live, let's go ahead and trigger an automation for a user. There are no users in this test account, so I will start by adding one. There are a couple of ways to add users to your Engage account. You can use the API, the SDKs, or any of our integrations. For this example, I'll be using the API. Authentication is HTTP basic. The username and password are my API keys available on my account dashboard. To create a user, I make a post request with the user ID and attributes to the user's endpoint. Ideally, the API request should be triggered when a user signs up on my application. But for the case of this example, I'll be using Bruno, an API client, for the request. Body is JSON, and in this example, I am adding only the user's first name and email just to keep things very, very simple. Authentication is HTTP basic, and I can get my API keys on the settings page of my account. Once the request is triggered, I can go ahead and confirm my user is added. I can then go ahead to trigger the top-up event that will trigger the automation. An event can have a single value or multiple values. We call this properties. Ideally, this API request will be triggered when the user performs the top-up event within your application. However, for this example again, I will manually trigger this using the API client. If you use services like Segment, Postdog, Make, or RuderStack, and have integrated this with Engage, the event will be automatically sent from this service to Engage, so you don't need to use the API or SDK. Once the request is made, I can go ahead and confirm the event has been triggered for the user. This also means our automation should have been triggered. I can go to the automation to confirm this. I can also go to the user's email to confirm they got the right email, and in this case, that's the 20-point email.